Today's episode has some wild clips, like what you're seeing.
My name's Steve, this is Classified Captures.
Starting today's episode, we got this clip shared by a man from Virginia. He was sitting out on his porch just enjoying the night breeze when he suddenly heard heavy thumps coming from the wooded area nearby. Then he saw a pair of red, glowing eyes staring back at him through the dark. Now here's where most people would run, right? But not him. Instead, he got up and walked towards the noise to get a better look, and that's when he saw it. It had pale skin, a humanoid form with long limbs. As perplexing and scary as that was to see, it did nothing, it just stared at him. I patiently wait to see what the creature would do, but the footage cuts off right there. We don't see how things play out. But he uploaded the clip, so he must be fine, right? This next one is strange and bizarre.
But before we start that, I want to give a shout out to one of our subscribers, Rick7305, and his incredible service dog, Bane. Now, unfortunately, Bane was hit by a car on Sunday, and Bane and Rick used to watch Classified Captures together. Rick, from me and all the Classified Captures team, heartfelt condolences, man. Bane, he'll be up there still watching, and he's still looking over you, man. He's still looking over you. Take this from a dog lover who's lost 2 dogs himself. You take it easy, man. Much love.
A man was reviewing his home security camera when he spotted the white glowing entity appearing above his neighbor's house, just across the parking lot. At first, it looked like a person made of light running in the direction of the camera, but just as quickly, the figure morphed into a bird-like creature with wings, and then it completely disintegrated, fading into nothing. The entire thing lasted only seconds, but it was enough to shock the homeowner. He couldn't believe what he'd captured. Many people who've seen the video believe it might be an angel, but skeptics are saying it's just AI-generated footage. But the man insists that this was not something he made up, and whatever it was, it appeared from nowhere. Not many believe him, but he stuck to his testament, so what do you make of it? This woman was visiting some sort of museum and was standing in front of a sculpture of a pterodactyl. It was supposed to be just a statue, but as she walked out of it, still holding a camera, something strange happened. The head moved, only for a second, but it did move. Take a second look, you'll see it tilt just slightly like it was watching her. Now, while many online are freaking out over the statue appearing to move, others say it's just an illusion, maybe an angle or the way the camera shifted. To some, it's a matter of perspective, while to others, this is proof that the Night at the Museum movie was onto something. You've seen the clip, so what do you think?
That's a little disconcerting. That thing is huge. Imagine trying to run away from that.
Remember when Selena Gomez fell at a recent red carpet event? The moment was live-streamed and quickly went viral, but some viewers noticed something strange. Let's take a closer look. As she falls, a man rushes in to help her, and it looks like an ordinary stumble. But if we zoom in on her leg as she hits the ground, something doesn't add up. Her foot bends unnaturally, almost all the way backwards. It twists in a humanly impossible way, and even Selena doesn't seem to flinch like nothing happened. To some, this is just an awkward moment caught on camera, but others, especially in the paranormal and conspiracy communities, think this was a momentary lapse in whatever mask is being worn. It's believed that certain celebrities aren't entirely human, and incidents like this expose what's underneath. Some have stated it's evidence she's a lizard person. Others think there's more at play here. To some, the footage is being dog-turned because this was recorded in high definition. Yet for some, the one going round in the paranormal community is a blurry one, which makes them suspicious. So what do you think? A hunter shared this chilling image. He owns a large property out in a remote area and was out riding his four-wheeler one day when something strange was captured on his trail cam. The camera snapped a photo of him on his bike, but standing behind him was a tall humanoid figure. It looked like a transparent, glowing being made of light. According to the hunter, he was completely alone that day. He didn't see or hear anything unusual at the time. So when he reviewed the footage and saw that figure, it completely shook him. Now, some say it's a ghost. Others believe it could be an interdimensional being or even a forest spirit. The skeptics, on the other hand, are pushing back, suggesting it's just a lens flare that just happens to look eerily human. You have to wonder, though, what are the chances? As is expected, the internet is split on this issue. Half say this is solid proof of the supernatural. The other half saw it as a strange coincidence. But what do you think? The strange sky phenomena are back, and this time, they might be even weirder than before. You remember those eerie videos from years ago, the one where people around the world recorded strange trumpet-like sounds coming from the sky? Well, guess what? It's happening again. It started recently in the US, but now people from other countries have begun sharing footage as well, and one of the most unsettling clips comes from Indonesia. In the video, someone captures a bizarre rectangular shape glowing in the night sky with an odd orange light outlining its edges. Just hangs there like a doorway. But that's not even the most disturbing part. A deep, unnatural sound starts echoing from above. It's metallic, hollow, and doesn't resemble anything from a plane or a normal aircraft. It felt otherworldly, almost like a glitch in reality. Some are calling it a Matrix moment. You've seen the clip, so what do you also think? Take a look at these strange images. They show a creature that was reportedly found washed up on a beach, but there are no clear details about when or where this happened. The creature has human-like features, but it's smaller than an adult. From the waist down, it resembles a fish or a sea creature, but from the waist up, it looks humanoid with a set of arms, though the fingers and proportions don't fully look human at all. People are arguing about this. Some think it's just a rare sea creature that got disfigured or bloated from the water. Others are speculating that this could be a hybrid from some deep-sea mutation or even a lab experiment gone wrong. But skeptics are calling it a hoax. They believe it's just a detailed prop someone made, especially since the photos show the creature in different settings, floating in the water, then lying in the sand. If it was staged, someone put in a lot of effort. So what do you think? Wait, before you answer, one of my team members just mentioned it could be AI. What do you think about that? I just thought I'd mention it. Next, we got a story that made waves when it first came out, and honestly, it left a lot of people baffled, including me. Years ago, this man from Japan went viral for spending thousands of dollars to create an extremely realistic dog costume for himself. He commissioned a hyper-detailed suit that looked uncannily real with fur paws and even movements that mimicked a real dog. And yes, his goal was simple, if not strange. He wanted to live like a dog. There were even clips of him doing tricks, rolling over, wagging his tail, fully committed to the role. Now he's back with a new suit. This one includes a movable jaw and a wagging tail, making the illusion even more lifelike. What's even more mysterious that he has chosen to remain anonymous, only ever referring to himself by his nickname Toko. So no one really knows his true identity or what his day-to-day life looks like outside the costume. But the big question remains, why? Why would someone want to live like a dog? Some speculate it's a form of escapism to disconnect from the pressures of human life. Others say it's a personal fantasy or a niche interest in cosplay taken to an extreme. We all have different ways of expressing ourselves, but this one is something else. So would you ever want to live as your favorite animal? No judgment, just asking. I bet Bane would be barking at the television right now if he was here.
I bet Bane's up in heaven right now, rolling his eyes at this guy.
This story comes from a man known online as the Ziegler Monster. He owns a ranch and usually starts his days checking on his animals, but one morning he woke up to a scene that left him completely rattled. All of his chickens had been killed, but every single one of them was decapitated. The heads were completely gone, and the bodies were scattered around the ranch, still covered in feathers and left untouched. He explained that the chicken coop was made entirely of metal from top to bottom. It was designed to be secure and built specifically to keep predators out. According to him, there was no way a person or animal could have broken in. Even more strange, he had guinea pigs housed nearby and they were perfectly fine. Nothing had touched them. Whatever this was, it only targeted the chickens, and it didn't take the bodies, just the heads. Some viewers speculate that it could be a cryptid, others thought it might be something paranormal, maybe even a demonic entity. But one comment stood out. Someone pointed out that raccoons are known to do this. They have been observed killing chickens, decapitating them, and leaving the bodies behind. And that other predators can do the same, especially foxes. But if raccoons or other predators are known to do this, how could they have gotten into a fully sealed metal coop? And why leave the guinea pigs alone? Was it a clever predator, something out of this world, or maybe even just a brutal mystery of nature? The world is getting so strange these days that anytime we see anything unusual, the first reaction is to call it paranormal or alien. But take a look at this footage. It's not quite that simple. A farmer out in Alberta, Canada was working in his field when he noticed something strange glowing on the horizon. It looked like the sun, but as he zoomed in, it became clear that this wasn't in the sky at all. It was on the ground, just far off in the distance. A giant, glowing ball made of light, way too large to be some random light from a machine or truck. People online had their own theories. Some were quick to say it was a fake sun. Others claimed it was something interdimensional, maybe even a portal opening up. But then a few others chimed in with a more grounded explanation. According to them, this footage was taken right after a lightning strike, and what you're seeing might be a phenomenon known as ball lightning. It's a rare and not fully understood occurrence where a glowing orb forms after intense electrical activity. Still, how often do we see ball lightning, and why did it hang there for so long? This man moved into a new home and everything was peaceful for a long time. He has a very unusual hobby. He collects items from funeral homes. Yeah, real artifacts from places tied to the dead. His house is full of them, and still, there have been no troubles until he brought in one particular set of items, these glass beakers. He placed them on the counter, and since then, he started to hear the sound of them clinking together. Now, beakers don't just move on their own. There was no breeze, no one in the room, but the sound still continued. He did what any collector might do. He made a video talking about the incident. But while he was filming, something very unsettling happened in the background. Behind him, there was a slightly open door. In that dark room behind it, viewers noticed something he didn't. A shadowy figure, cloaked in black, standing just behind the door. Then later in the video, he reacts to some strange whispers and finally walks towards the room, only to find nothing there. He even tried to say maybe it was a jacket, but there was nothing that could have held a jacket to form that shape. So now he's convinced something paranormal is happening in his home, but the question is it the glass speakers causing it, or did he bring in something darker with one of his other funeral home items? A security camera mounted outside someone's home picked up something strange. It begins as any normal clip would. A person casually walks into the camera's field of view. The motion sensor kicks in and the camera even follows their movement. Everything looks completely normal. Until it doesn't. As the person moves across the frame, other security cameras around the house also pick them up. There is nothing unusual about their pace, their clothes, or even the time of day, but right at the edge of the frame, something impossible happens. The person disintegrates into thin air. 1 second they're there, and the next, they're just gone. This has left people scratching their heads. Some say this is evidence of a ghost, but skeptics are calling it clever video editing. But if the footage is real and unaltered, then we might have just seen something cross over or fade back into whatever it came from. So what do you think? Animals are a lot more intelligent and deceptive than we often give them credit for. The next footage is a chilling example of just that. It was taken over a decade ago in Uganda near Lake Victoria. 2 fishermen were going about their normal day when they saw violence splashing in the water not far from shore. At first, they assumed it was an animal struggling, possibly drowning. The creature appeared lifeless, floating just under the murky surface, with only 2 hands sticking out of the water. The man tried to pull the body out, but he suddenly jerked backward. A few seconds later, he scrambled to escape, clearly panicked. But it was too late. The water splashed violently and the clip abruptly cuts off. According to reports, the man didn't make it. What had been floating in the water wasn't a drowning creature. It was a crocodile, deliberately faking distress to lure in a victim. Locals later said this was not a one-time incident. The crocodiles in that region had developed a strategy, singling out humans with clever tricks. That was over 10 years ago, so just imagine what these animals might be capable of now. A restaurant owner recently shared a sighting from inside his establishment. Take a look. As he steps out and locks the restaurant door behind him, something unexpected happens. From the camera positioned inside the restaurant, we see a girl suddenly run up to the door and open it, and then just as quickly she vanishes back into the building. But here's where it gets strange. According to the owner, that girl isn't human. He claims she's a ghost who's been haunting the place for years. She appears dressed in what looks like 19th century fashion, and in this footage you can clearly see her sprint to the door, unlock it, and disappear back inside like nothing happened. It's an eerie but fascinating ghost encounter until we find one detail that changed everything. The camera filter used was a heat signature filter. Now here's the thing. Ghosts are typically described as cold entities. They're set to lower temperatures around them, which is why people report cold spots during hauntings. So how does a ghost show up on thermal imaging as a warm body? Then again, we're not ghost experts. So what do you think? These days, we don't talk nearly enough about how dark and twisted Hollywood has proven itself to be again and again. Over the years, we've seen more and more breadcrumbs hinting at occult practices, hidden rituals, and even alleged sacrifices linked to the elite members of the entertainment industry. One person who often comes up in these conversations is Beyoncé. Now, this is not just about her music or her fame, it's the symbolism that raises eyebrows. From her stage designs that resemble Moloch, an ancient deity said to have been worshipped through child sacrifices, to the eerie visuals she wears. She styles her hair to look like the head of a goat, sometimes many say resembling Baphomet, a symbol often associated with satanic worship. Then there's the instance where she was seen wearing Saturn-shaped earrings. In the occult world, Saturn is a deeply symbolic, often linked to control, time, and even dark spiritual forces. So when someone of her influence chooses to wear such symbols repeatedly, people start asking questions. These public figures are not ordinary people. They operate at a level where allegiance and homage to forces beyond our understanding might be part of the game. And while we may brush it off as art, some believe it's much more intentional than that.
So are these just harmless visuals, or is something much darker happening?
In the Bible, there's a story of how Moses turned the Nile River of Egypt into blood, and the people were terrified. But now in New Jersey, something strangely similar might be happening in the Passaic River. The Passaic River is known to be polluted, sure, but not colored. That is until this man went kayaking and noticed that the water had turned red. But here's the part that messes with your head. As he paddled closer to the sewer outlet, he noticed that there was a clear difference in the color of the water flowing out of the sewer compared to the red water he was kayaking in. The sewer water looked normal, but the river water was still red blood. So what the hell's going on here? Some say it's a biblical curse over New Jersey. Others believe it's tied to science. There's a phenomenon called red algal bloom. When certain algae multiply in large numbers, they can turn entire bodies of water red. Some even believe that's what happened to the Nile River in the Moses story. It's not blood, but red algae. But that still doesn't explain the situation of the sewer. Why was the water from the sewer normal while the river itself was red? Something doesn't add up here. So what do you think? Just when you think you've seen it all, something else shows up to completely throw you off. This footage recently started making rounds online, and it's hard to unsee once you've looked at it. A regular straight light pole, or so you'd think, until you notice a pair of human-like hands sticking out from it. Yeah, hands. They're small and pale. Now, since when did street poles start growing hands? Obviously, they don't, unless, as many people are speculating, this isn't a pole at all. Or maybe it is, but something is hidden inside. Some think this might be an entity that didn't do a very good job at concealing itself, leaving its hands exposed. Others are saying it's just edited footage. But then again, how many times have we brushed off strange sightings only to have them turn out to be real later? So what do you think? We know that China has been working on creating a fake sun, but recently someone shared a very strange image, and it's got everyone talking. Just look at this. It appears as though there are 7 suns lined up on the horizon, not 1, not 2, but 7 glowing orbs suspended in the clouds. Science tells us there's only one sun in our solar system. Sure, there are planets in other systems that have more than one moon, but the sun is the only one. So this is not supposed to be possible. Some say this is an optical illusion phenomenon known as a sundog or parhelion, where ice crystals in the atmosphere reflect sunlight in a way that creates the illusion of multiple suns. Others suggest it's just reflections from glass or camera lenses playing tricks on our eyes. But then there are ones who believe something deeper is going on. Could this be a glitch in our reality, or could this be the result of some powerful technology? What do you think? Now, let's take a look at these tracks. A camper was out exploring the Winter Mountains. Near a quiet body of water, the camper spotted a set of massive footprints pressed deep into the muddy ground. And these weren't vague or smudged impressions. These prints were clear. You could see the toes, the arch, the full outline. Now, here's the thing. The Winter Mountains in Utah are one of those places where people regularly report sightings of Bigfoot. Strange lights in the sky, and even mysterious sounds echoing through the woods at night. It's practically a hot spot for the weird and unexplainable. And when you look at these prints, it's hard to argue that they came from a regular human. These are huge. Whatever made them must have been massive, and we know no other but Bigfoot to be able to do this. So what do you think? A man and his toddler were walking through the hallway when they stopped by this mirror to take some cute footage together. But right at that moment, something appeared in the mirror, just for a second, and vanished as quickly as it came. You can even see the little boy notice it. He points at the mirror, moves his hands around to get his dad's attention, as if trying to explain what he just saw. But what was that? Some people who've seen the clip say it could be some kind of entity. Others believe it might have been a portal. Maybe it started to open, but the presence of the father and the son sent it back. So did they accidentally capture something paranormal, or was it something else entirely? You never really know what's going on in someone's mind. We always talk about ghosts, cryptids, and all other things paranormal, but sometimes the real danger comes from the people who look just like us. Take a careful look at this footage. A woman and a little child are walking along some train tracks. They're walking way too close to the edge when suddenly the child falls in. Now, watch the woman's reaction. She steps back, extends her hand, but doesn't move an inch to help. The child is struggling, trying to climb out of the track pit, and the woman just stands there. Luckily, a man on the other side of the track sees what's happening. He sprints in to lift the child out and manages to jump out himself seconds before the train zips by. But here's the chilling part. The woman's reaction. The way the child falls almost seems like she pushed the child and then made no effort at all to help. If that man hadn't stepped in, this could have ended tragically. It's such a haunting situation. So what do you think? Was this just a scary accident, or is something about it feeling way too suspicious? Back in 2023, a woman went into the woods searching for her nephew. He had gone missing after being discharged from a hospital. He left for home, but no one saw him again. While she was out in the woods looking for him, she said she started to feel off. That heavy feeling like someone was watching her. So she took out her phone and slowly panned the camera around. She even thought about giving up until she got home and rewatched the footage, and that's when she saw it. Something was moving along the trees. It only appears for a second, but if you pause it just right, you'll see it too. It's a humanoid form, very faint, almost transparent, like it's camouflaged into the forest. She still hasn't found her nephew, and this discovery has only made her more uneasy. So take a look at this footage. Do you see it too? And more importantly, what the hell is it? In Colombia, there's a cabin deep in the wilderness. Locals say it's haunted. Over the years, hikers and campers who've taken shelter there claim to have experienced something unsettling. So this man, Diego, decided to find out for himself. He packed up his gear, hiked out to the remote cabin, and set up for the night, recording everything along the way. At first, it seemed like any other night, but soon after settling in, Diego captured a chilling moment on camera. He whispers to the camera that he'd heard a whistle earlier. It sounded just once, but it scared him enough to keep him on edge. Whistling in the woods is never a good sign. Later in the night, things escalated. He recorded loud noises on the roof of the cabin like something was trying to get in from above, and you can hear it clearly in the video. He searched around the cabin with his flashlight, hoping to catch whatever it was, but there was nothing. He made it through the night and left first thing in the morning, but he never figured out what made that whistle or what it was moving on the roof. Some say it could have been a skinwalker luring him out. Others think it was a ghost that haunts the cabin, but no one really knows. But what do you think it was?
Puede parecer dramático, pero escuché que alguien silbó, así como cuando saludan, tipo... Y ya silbó una vez y y me dio un poquito de miedo. Espero que sea un ave.
Estoy acostado y uso mi cabeza en el techo. Yo siento que algo se mueve. ¿Se escucha?
A man shared this video online after a chilling encounter he had one night. He was out in the woods with his dog, heading in to do some late-night hunting. Everything seemed normal at first until they heard it. A single, loud cry echoed through the trees. At first it sounded like a howl, maybe a coyote, but there was something off about it. Even his dog reacted, ears up, locked onto something in the dark. Thinking it was just another animal, the man told his dog to go check it out, but then the sound came again. This time it wasn't just a howl, it sounded like a person's scream, raw and desperate. Suddenly the sound didn't feel so normal anymore. He quickly called his dog back, and thankfully it came along and unharmed. But the man didn't stick around after that. Whatever made the sound wasn't something he wanted to meet in the woods. It felt more like something was hunting him. Most people who've watched the footage believe this could have been a skinwalker luring him in. But what do you think?
They don't sound like no goddamn coyote. The hell she get? She's getting something. Get it, girl. Watch it. Watch it, girl. Come on. Miley, come. The There's no way, dude.
Back in 2022, someone found something strange on a tree branch deep in the woods of Texas. This clump of hair. Now, the story that quickly spread was wild. People were saying it wasn't just any hair, but Bigfoot hair. The buzz grew even more when it was claimed that scientists had actually tested the sample. And according to those reports, the results showed the hair came from an unknown species. But here's the thing. We don't even know how true that part is. There's been no official confirmation, no published study, nothing we can verify. So now we're left with a mystery. Was it Bigfoot or just another internet rumor that got way out of hand? Two girls were hanging out at a park when they saw something that shook them to their core. Out in the distance, they noticed this tall, dark figure moving through the shadows. It had no clear shape, just a shadowy form drifting, but no one could tell if it was walking on the pavement or if it was actually gliding across the water. The girls were terrified. They knew what they were seeing wasn't normal and they couldn't take their eyes off it. Now, some people believe this might be Slender Man, the infamous faceless figure tied to so many internet legends. Others say it could be a fear-feeding entity that thrives off the terror of those who witnesses. Whatever it was, it left those girls afraid. So what do you think it was? It hadn't snowed in Mississippi for 8 years, and when it finally did, a couple found something strange outside their window. So they stepped out to get a closer look, and this is what they saw. A handprint facing away from the house like whatever it made was walking off. Now here's where it gets crazy. The man puts his hand next to it, and it's about 2 or 3 times bigger than his. Then he places his foot beside it, and it's almost the same size as the handprint. So what left this? Because that doesn't look like a regular human hand. It's too wide, too long, and way too big to make any sense, unless it came from a giant, a Bigfoot, or something we don't even have a name for yet. Whatever it was real enough to leave a clear print in the snow, and if that's not unsettling, I don't know what is. What do you think made that handprint? When was the last time you experienced this? And by this, I mean rain falling in bright daylight. It looks surreal and almost impossible. We're used to seeing dark clouds, a moody sky, and a shift in atmosphere before the rain comes, but look at this. The sun is shining, the skies are clear, and yet the rain falls. Some in the community are calling it a glitch, but scientists have another explanation. They say it's likely a phenomenon called sun shower. It happens when rain from a distant storm is carried by winds into a clear area, so the rain falls even while the sun is still out. Still, it doesn't make it feel any less strange when you're standing in sunlight getting soaked by something that seems like it should not be happening. So what do you think? There are a lot of odd things we've seen in the sky, but this one is something else. Someone living on the top floor of an apartment complex shared this chilling moment. They were relaxing when they looked out the window and saw a wooden door rotating mid-air and heading directly toward the window from the sky. Panicked, they dove to the floor and took cover, waiting for the impact, but nothing happened. When they looked up again, it was gone. There was no trace of the door. Some are calling it a glitch in the Matrix. Others are wondering if it was a shift in dimensions. But if it was just a door, well, why did it vanish like that?
God, guys. Oh my God.
This footage was shared by a pilot who was on Sky Patrol tracking airspace when he spotted something he wasn't trained to explain. Flying just ahead of his aircraft was the strange object that moved just behind the clouds. At first, it was barely visible, but when it emerged, you see a dark, round object floating steadily in the sky. Now, the internet is lighting up with everyone calling this a UAP, an unidentified anomalous phenomenon. It fits the pattern. It has no wings, makes no sound, and has no visible propulsion. This cannot be some sort of military craft or new tech. It looks like a metal ball. The only explanation can be alien tech. What do you think?
What the fuck is that?
In Melbourne, Australia, a contractor spotted this in the sky. It was a luminous orb in the sky. Seeing such a thing naturally made him curious, but it was not until he had captured the image and zoomed in that things took an unexpected turn. The revelation of what appeared to be a doorway on the luminous orb. As with any unexplained phenomena, speculations run wild. Some propose the idea of a blue beam projection, a technology that projects holographic images into the sky, while others delve into the possibility of a portal existing within the luminous orb. The concept of a portal suggests an opening to another dimension or realm, leaving the imagination to wonder what the potential destinations could be. Skeptics, on the other hand, consider the likelihood of the entire spectacle being carefully orchestrated hoax, a product of advanced technology or visual manipulation. What do you think?
That's crazy, man. What the fuck?
Next, we have footage from a trail camera that captured this strange creature, and people can't seem to figure out what the creature is. The creature in question has a pair of glassy, glowing eyes and a pig-like nose. Its skin is pale, and it has shoulders that look humanoid. The rest of its body is not captured by the camera lens, leaving it up to our imagination. Though we cannot make out the creature, people have come out with ideas, and the most recurring answer, Mothman. For those unfamiliar with him, the Mothman is a cryptid that gained notoriety in West Virginia during the 1960s. He's often described as a humanoid figure with large wings. While the image captured by the trail camera doesn't reveal the creature's wings or the lowest part of its body, the peculiar characteristics mentioned have sparked associations with Mothman. Personally, I really want the capture to be the Mothman, but then again, anything is possible these days, so I'd want your take on this as well. What do you think we're dealing with here? Have you ever seen a lizard go on a sprint? Not on all fours, but just on two legs. If you haven't, today's your lucky day. Enjoy. Someone spotted this lizard on a tree and decided to take a video, but to his surprise, the reptile decided to climb down the tree and give him a better show. It then started to walk and then run on its hind legs. As shocking as this looks, it's not uncommon in lizards. There are about 50 lizard species that can pull off this stunt, but the lizard species that does this better is the basilisk lizard. They have special scales on their feet that allow them to even walk on water. Because of that, they're nicknamed the Jesus Christ lizard. A cheesy name, don't you think? We've all had our fair share of strange encounters, but nothing freaks me out more than seeing human beings being strange. Take a look at this footage that was taken on a train. In the footage, we see a woman attempting to apply lipstick with what might be a mirror in her hand. But when you look carefully, there is no mirror there. Yet somehow she's paying attention to her hands as though she's holding one. What kind of sorcery is this? Is it a glitch of some sort? If not, could she be a mime? Even then, it may not make sense. Am I overthinking it, or do we have something going on here? Share your thoughts with us in the comment section. The discovery of these mysterious tunnels around the world has sparked both curiosity and speculation. These enigmatic passageways, concealed in various forms, ranging from sewer-like openings to holes in city streets, have captured the attention of explorers and conspiracy theorists alike. Some explorers have stumbled upon fully furnished structures with electricity. The condition of these spaces varies, with some appearing untouched while others bear signs of abandonment. While some believe that these discoveries might be genuine underground utilities or storage spaces, others are very convinced that they belong to an interconnected subterranean world. That sounds exciting, but what are your thoughts on these underground mysteries? Do you think there's a vast network connecting them, or is it more likely a mix of utility tunnels and urban legends? This next footage was also taken by an unknown woman at an undisclosed location.
I'm not quite sure what this is about, but this cloud keeps flickering red.
In it, we see a specific section of the clouds illuminated in a vibrant red hue, prompting varied interpretations from viewers. Several netizens have put forth different explanations for the phenomenon. Some propose that the red glow could be a result of lights from buildings below reflecting on the clouds. On the other hand, a section of those who saw it propose another theory, suggesting that this occurrence might be linked to the oil industry. Specifically, some propose that it could be the result of flaring, the controlled burning of unwanted gas in oil fields, a practice that can cause clouds to glow. Conspiracy theories also make an appearance here, with claims ranging from chemical interventions to extraterrestrial involvement. To an extent, those sound far-fetched even for me, but what do you think? Next, we have a creature that was captured on a trail cam situated in the woods. In the footage, we see the creature was spotted peeking from behind a tree. It possesses light fur and a pair of dark, small eyes. Its nose looks like that of a human, but it's smaller. And when you look at its mouth, you can see how tiny its lips are. The owner of the footage believes that this is a Sasquatch with a much smaller build, just like. Perhaps it could be a juvenile or a dwarf among the Bigfoots. After all, we humans come in all shapes and sizes too. The paranormal community is divided on this, with some calling it the best Sasquatch footage in a long time and others stating that it's obvious that it's just a hoax. While I like to be sure of what I'm dealing with, who am I to get in the way of a good old squabble? What do you think, real or not? There are times when situations leave us baffled with lots of questions, and one such situation is this. A Swedish YouTuber called Ellen, whose niche was true crime, was once filming in the woods in the middle of the night when she captured something rather odd on her camera. It was a creature with a small head and a pair of glowing eyes. The creature poked its head from behind a large tree and then vanished. Ellen was naturally spooked by what she saw, and I don't blame her. I mean, the creature didn't look human, nor did it look like an animal, except for its glowing eyes. Some of her followers suggested it might be a nocturnal animal, but the last time I checked, animals don't have hair that long unless they were a lion or a horse with a mane. Clearly, this thing looked nothing like either one of them, so what could it have been? While walking through the woods at night, someone discovered a peculiar object on a tree. At first it looked like a fungus, but then it started to move in a strange, almost lifelike manner.
Like some weird alien bug.
The way it pulsated and shifted was eerie, as if it had a mind. This unexpected movement left the individual questioning the nature of their find. Could it be an undiscovered species or a rare natural phenomenon? The way it glowed and seemed to breathe added to the mystery. In the quiet of the night, with only the sounds of the forest around, the sight was both mesmerizing and unsettling. How was this even possible? Could it be some type of interdimensional creature? Maybe it's a life form we have yet to classify living right under our noses. If you thought that was a bit confusing, then you should definitely see this next one. What do you think we're looking at? It's hard to say given the unusual appearance of the creature in the clip as well as the quality of the clip. Although a bit divided oftentimes, you can trust the paranormal community to always come up with something. First off, some members of the community thought this was bizarre and possibly mutated snake. They were sure that the creature we are seeing was a snake with horns. This was very interesting, but also a bit of a stretch. But when you have to deal with skinwalkers and Bigfoots, a snake with horns shouldn't be the biggest of your issues, right? Well, let's just say it felt off to me and some members of the community. We did some further analysis and settled on the fact that this could be a snake that's eaten a frog or a bird. What we perceive as horns may be nothing more than the back legs of a frog or the wings of a bird. But then again, none of this is confirmed. We're only speculating based on what we see. What's your take, though? A snake from the nether realm or a very ordinary snake trying to chow down a huge meal? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section. There are many reasons for going out into the great outdoors to camp. Some go to unwind, others go to take a break from civilization. Some even camp out in the woods to study wildlife. Our first footage of the day was sent in by a camper who went out there to take some photos, and what he encountered left him shocked. It was a normal morning, and he was preparing to get out of his tent, when through the tent window, he spotted something strange. There was a huge creature that was trying to look into his tent. The creature looked like a huge gorilla with its dark fur and curious eyes, but there was something about this creature that made it very different from a gorilla. It didn't move like they did, and from a little he could see, its mannerisms were more akin to that of a human than an ape. He concluded it was a Bigfoot and shared the footage online. Looking at it myself, I can see where he's coming from. I only wish the footage was not so blurry so we could do a thorough analysis. But what do you think? There have been many sightings of Bigfoot in the woods, yet the one caught in this next footage of ours seems particularly different. From the footage, we're introduced to what appears to be a crime scene. This creature is seen moving in the background. It's obvious that whatever it is, it may be along the lines of a Bigfoot. A part of me wanted to believe it might be another hoax. That was at least the situation until it lifted a tree like it was nothing. When you pay attention to its facial features, you see the face of a human with a nose, a pair of eyes, lips, and a long beard. As the creature stands, the rest of its body is covered in dark fur, and it stands at a height of 8 feet minimum. The way it effortlessly lifts a huge log and smashes it into a tree is something humans can't do. Since we've ruled out the possibility of it being a human in a costume, There's only one possibility left. It's a Bigfoot. From all that we hear about Bigfoot, they're believed to be very strong creatures capable of tearing large trees apart. But imagine a Bigfoot coming up against a bull. Who do you think would win? Before you answer, take a look at this footage first. A farmer carved a Bigfoot silhouette on a metal sheet and placed it on the fence of his bull farm. One bull walked over to the Bigfoot cutout and used its horns to tear it apart with much aggression, as if it had a grudge against Bigfoot. The bull's raw power and determination were on full display. Now imagine if this was the real thing. Who do you think would win? Both creatures possess brutal strength and aggression, making this a hypothetical battle for the ages. On one side, we have the mysterious and elusive Bigfoot, known for its immense power, and on the other, the bull is a symbol of raw strength and tenacity. Who would you place your bet on? While out at sea, a fisherman noticed something in the water with glowing eyes staring right at him. Intrigued and a bit unnerved, he threw a small fish into the water, but the creature didn't budge. This behavior was odd since he knew that crocodiles or alligators do not live in salty water. As the fisherman continued to watch, the creature remained still, its glowing eyes reflecting the moonlight in an almost hypnotic manner. He captured the eerie scene on his phone, and boy, are we glad he did. It adds some authenticity to his experience and narration. The footage shows the glowing eyes in stark contrast to the dark, choppy water, creating a hauntingly beautiful visual. As beautiful as it might be, there's one question that needs answering. What could this creature be? The ocean is vast and full of mysteries, and sightings like these often leave more questions than answers. Some viewers speculated it might be a bioluminescent sea creature, while others leaned toward more fantastical explanations, such as a sea monster or an alien life form. What do you think? Do you believe in the Matrix? If not, then find a logical explanation for this. A man came home to find his dog standing in the hallway as though it were frozen in time. If you have a pet, you know how they like to be all over you when you go out and come back. This dog, on the other hand, was just standing there, not moving or panting or playing or doing anything. As the owner gets closer to the dog, it becomes increasingly evident that the dog is frozen in time. Now, before you say that it's a realistic dog toy, just wait and see what happens next. The man just cautiously walks towards his dog, and as soon as he touches it and rubs its neck, the dog comes back to life. It's one of two things. The owner has taught his dog a very clever trick, or the dog was frozen in time till the owner's touch reset it. What do you think? If you've made it this far, could you please hit the like button, subscribe, and even drop a comment if you haven't already? It goes a long way to make it possible to create more videos for you. Thank you for doing so. Moving back to the day's episode, have you ever heard of the Glimmermen? They're said to be these transparent-looking creatures that blend into their surroundings. They're typically found in woods, but thanks to their glimmering qualities, they can hardly be spotted. Did you see that? Some sort of invisible entity moving right there, and just as quickly as it came, it was gone. This footage was captured back in 2014 by a group of Bigfoot researchers. They'd set out to explore the woodland of Washington when one of them noticed something rather odd. There on the ground, there was an invisible creature that appeared and disappeared as quickly as it had appeared. Fortunately for the team, and rather unfortunately for the Glimmerman, their camera was rolling and it had already been captured. We are unsure of how the other Glimmermen will respond to him exposing their kind, but we're sort of grateful. A part of me is already sold on the footage, but I have to ask, do you guys think we're dealing with the real thing, or are these campers trying to get their 5 minutes of fame? Buckle up for a celestial mystery straight from a road trip. Imagine catching a stunning sunset on camera only to realize you've got not one, but two suns stealing the limelight. Double trouble or double wonder. You decide. That's what happened to the one who captured this, but as you can see, one was orange and the other was a white orb with an orange hue around it. Beyond these basic descriptions, there are some who noticed a few things that could explain this. One observation was that it was a reflection. You can see because of the power lines that go through it. Seeing this, some proposed that the whole thing could be attributed to a hypothetical planet X, suggesting the celestial body getting closer. What do you also think? During a routine plane journey, a vigilant passenger observed a perplexing phenomenon through the aircraft's windows. A luminous, unidentified flying object caught his attention as it gracefully navigated beneath the plane's wing. According to him, this went on for at least 10 minutes until, in an unexpected turn, the UFO initiated a deceleration and gradually descended until it eventually disappeared into the vast expanse of the sky. What are your thoughts on this mysterious encounter? Do you lean toward a more conventional explanation or find yourself intrigued by the possibility of otherworldly phenomena sharing the airspace with commercial flights? Tell us in the comments section. If you haven't already hit the like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment so far, could you please do so now? It goes a long way to help us make more videos like this for you. Thank you so much. Now back to today's episode. A drone was flying over a forest when it spotted something moving below. It moved with huge strides, covering more ground than a regular human could. As the drone zeroes in for a closer look, its pilot is convinced that it has to be none other than the legendary Bigfoot. It was covered in brown fur and ticked everything on the Bigfoot checklist. If we know anything about Bigfoots, we know that they're elusive, and this creature managed to slip away, hidden by the forest it calls home. What do you think, though? Is this the real thing, or are we only seeing what we want to see? There are times when animals can be weird and look cute, but when their behavior goes on longer, it starts to look strange, just like in this footage. A man was seen walking his dog. At first, I thought it was cute and funny. I mean, it's a dog walking on its two legs. But then, as they kept walking, the dog didn't go down on all fours. It kept walking on its legs until it turned a corner out of sight. And with what we just saw, I'm pretty sure it could have probably continued till it got home. I don't know about you, but just looking at this gave me some chills. I've seen dogs pull this stunt before, but not for that long. This dog looked like it was possessed or something. Could that have been the case, or has it evolved to move on all twos? Before you come at me in the comments section, think about it. In Germany, a peculiar incident was captured on camera as a blue ray of light descended from the sky. The phenomenon occurred against the backdrop of the night sky, with the rays shooting down toward Earth. Some viewers suggested that it could be a directed energy weapon, a type of weapon that directs concentrated energy toward a target. The technology is often associated with advanced military systems and considered classified. Thankfully, though, this footage managed to make its way into the public domain. In the footage, we see it pointed to an area with houses all around. If this theory is to be believed, that thing is dangerous and human lives are at risk. The footage, however, shows no sign of chaos or destruction. Either it's not fired yet or the theory is wrong. If it's wrong, then the next theory is that it could be a laser from quantum satellite communication research. There are also some who think it's neither of these and it's simply a part of Project Bluebeam. What do you think? This unsuspecting man's encounter with a furry intruder turned out to be a hilarious mix-up. Never did I ever think I would call such an encounter hilarious. But enjoy.
Fucking raccoons. Get in my trash can. Oh my god, that's a bear.
A man heard some noises outside his house where the trash cans were. Thinking it was a raccoon, he went out to confront the animal, but to his surprise, it was a bear rummaging through the garbage. Reacting swiftly, he hurried back indoors, realizing that dealing with a bear was an entirely different situation. I can only imagine the mixture of surprise, amusement, and perhaps a hint of terror at that moment. It's a classic case of mistaken identity. Nature has its way of reminding us of who truly rules the backyard, and from this footage, we can clearly see that mankind is merely a steward. Here's to our trash panda friend creating chaos and providing a good chuckle in the process. Have you ever had unexpected wildlife encounters in your backyard? Please share. When it comes to a fight, it's not always about the size of your opponent. Sometimes it boils down to how much self-confidence you have, and our next footage proves that. Enjoy. This man spotted a lizard and attempted to bully it. You can see him trying to get a rope around its neck and get it out of its home or neighborhood, but the little guy was not having any of it. It gathered all its courage it could and stood on its back limbs as it aggressively charged toward the man. Not expecting it, the man is forced into a retreat, which ends with him on the ground. The footage cuts off here, but we're pretty sure that Monsieur Lizard emerged as the victor in this spontaneous confrontation. Nature has its way of teaching us that respect transcends size. Next time you see a lizard or any small animal, just mind your own business and walk by. If you have to confront it because it poses any danger to you or your family, do so with this footage in mind. Here we have another drama in the sky that left people questioning things. If you pay attention to the footage on your screen right now, you'll see a huge patch of cloud shaped like a square. The edges of the patch are so sharp and defined that it's as if someone took out a cosmic ruler and drew a square right there in the atmosphere. No gentle curves or fluffy edges here, just a stark angular interruption in the usual canvas of the sky. As fascinating as this might seem, especially for our meteorology nerds, we have to ask, who's responsible for this? Is it a natural phenomenon, or are humans at it again? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Someone was driving one night when he noticed some lights in the sky. At first, it looked like nothing to be worried about, perhaps just a plane passing by. However, as he continued driving, the lights remained stationary, hovering in the same spot. This was unusual, especially since there was no airport or known flight path in the vicinity. As he drove closer, the lights didn't move, they remained where they were. The lights seemed to belong to one massive craft, yet the craft itself wasn't visible. It seemed to be shrouded by clouds or even fog, creating an eerie and mysterious silhouette against the night sky. So what could this be? Some suggest it might be a secret military aircraft using advanced cloaking technology. Others firmly believe it's evidence of extraterrestrial life visiting our planet under the cover of darkness. Now what about you? What do you think? Now, what do we have here? A strange-looking creature that was found on our shores was seen running toward the water, but what could it be? It appears to have spikes all over its body. As it got closer, the waves came and washed it into the ocean. The creature's movements were swift and almost frantic, as if it were desperate to return to the safety of the water. Its spiky exterior glistened under the sunlight, making it look even more unusual and otherworldly. Does anyone have any idea what it might be? If you do, could you please let us know in the comments? Thank you very much. These days, it's hard to write things off as normal or a coincidence because of the surge in the sightings of UFOs, paranormal creatures, and many more. A surveillance camera at someone's doorstep captured something strange in the sky. There it is, a bright object flying by in the sky. No one knows what it was. It could be the wings of a bird flying by, but let's be honest, this looks nothing like a bird. A resident from the area also attested to seeing this object in the sky while on a walk that night. From the usual answers we have for objects in the sky, could this be a UFO or not? We don't know. While there have been several footage of paranormal creatures, most of the time people rule them out as hoaxes. For our next footage, however, we have one that was taken by a Facebook user doing a live session. Take a look. The user was having a smoke outside at night while interacting with his audience. He had the camera pointed at the field. You can see the green grass and a streetlight, nothing out of the ordinary. Not long after that, however, something zooms by in the darkness. The creature was pale and transparent. It had long legs and its upper body looked bent downwards. I don't know what type of creature that was, but it was pretty fast. Those following the live session saw it and were puzzled. This is when the guy revealed that he'd been seeing strange things around his home. I want to believe it because the footage is live et al., but doesn't it sound a bit too convenient? Have you ever heard of a storm chaser? Well, it's quite a unique job, as the name suggests. These are people who seek out dangerous weather, traveling great distances to capture photos and videos of nature's most powerful phenomenon. This particular footage was taken by a storm chaser who traveled to Krakow, Poland to film an approaching storm. He positioned his drone at a higher altitude, ready to capture the storm in all its glory. After the storm passed, he reviewed the footage and discovered something unexpected. A strange glowing object moved rapidly from one spot to another before vanishing into the water. For someone whose job is to observe weather patterns, finding something like this is indeed odd and worth questioning. According to him, the object moved at a speed of 100 meters per second, extremely fast. Take a look at the footage and tell me what you think this object could be. Is it just a natural phenomenon, an optical illusion, or something more mysterious, like evidence of extraterrestrial activity, or perhaps a top-secret technology being tested? Some things in this world are simply unexplainable, and our next clip may be one of them. If you don't have the stomach for strange things, please move on to the next clip. You have been warned. A man recently shared footage of this strange and disgusting substance falling from his roof. The video provides no context, leaving viewers to speculate wildly about what it could be.
That is... I'm going to show this to everybody.
The thick, reddish substance interspersed with small black entities defies easy explanation. Some commenters suggested it might be a mass of worms, while others thought it could be a nest of earthworms. As interesting as these speculations are, we've no way of confirming or disproving them. Frankly speaking, I can't even send any of the team members to investigate it. Not sure I can pay for the therapy. What do you guys think it is? On our end, we still aren't sure, but Aaron, our in-house conspiracy theorist, says it reminds him of what the night after Taco Bell feels like. Well, not sure why that came to mind, but I'm not explaining what he means. If you know what this might be, please share in the comments section. Football is a very physical game, so when a player falls, it's usually hard for them to get back on their feet due to the impact. If that's true, tell me why this player pulled a Michael Jackson on us. While he was running to get the ball, he fell, sliding across the grass. But then, within a few seconds, he levitated off the ground, almost as though some unknown force lifted him. The funny thing is, he walked away like nothing happened. You can see the other players looking at him and probably all shocked by what they just witnessed. How is this even possible? Or am I missing something? Before we move on to the next video, just another reminder. If you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed to the channel yet, please do so now. I wouldn't want to send a Bigfoot after you, and don't forget to share with your friends and family as well. Thank you very much. I have investigated Bigfoots for years and didn't know they had a sense of humor. That was at least until I saw this footage. This footage was recorded by a hiker who was walking through the woods when she felt uneasy. You know, the kind you have when there are eyes on you. For evidence sake, she took out her phone and started filming, but she didn't see anything around her. A few seconds later, something or someone crept out from behind a tree to look at her and then rush back again. Then it popped right behind another tree and looked at her, and then hid again. This stalker had features that resembled a Bigfoot. Whether it was playing peekaboo with her, we can't tell, but from the lady's reaction, you can tell she was freaked out by it. I mean, well, I would be too, but what do you guys think of the whole thing? Have you heard about the eerie incident that recently occurred in Istanbul? The whole city plunged into darkness during the day, and not for just a moment, but a whopping 5 minutes. And that's not the most bizarre of things that day. It turns out the whole thing was caused by a giant black cloud measuring a whopping 10 kilometers in size. How often do you see that? What on earth could cause such a mysterious blackout? Well, there are several factors that could potentially lead to a temporary blockage of sunlight, such as an unusual weather phenomenon, environmental factors, or even a large object passing in front of the sun. This appears to be one of those situations. That's assuming the whole thing is real and not a hoax. The mysterious and often perplexing question of what awaits us after death has fueled human curiosity for centuries. This next clip was captured by a hospital ward security camera. In it, we see a sick woman lying in her bed when a sudden and unexplained event takes place. A glowing arm extends toward her. For the family, this glowing arm wasn't just an ordinary phenomena. They interpret this luminous arm as that of an angel, a celestial being that has come to guide the departed soul to its next destination. A realm often associated with notions of heaven and religious beliefs. Looking at this, everything within my gut says otherwise, but who am I to argue with the grieving family? But do indulge me. What are your thoughts on this? This man was cruising alone, filming himself, when suddenly a massive creature appeared in the water. And I'm not talking about your average fish here. We are talking big, like really big. Encountering a large creature in the water during a boat ride can be both thrilling and unnerving. When you are, however, not sure of what you're dealing with, it can be alarming, and that was the case of the man in question. He couldn't help but wonder if he had encountered an anaconda or another colossal aquatic being. For those unfamiliar with them, anacondas are large, non-venomous snakes that are known for their impressive size and strength. They're often found in aquatic habitats, which makes it possible that he had actually encountered one. In such a scenario, it's important to exercise caution and ensure safety. No unnecessary actions that will endanger you. While anacondas are generally not aggressive towards humans, it's essential to avoid provoking or approaching them closely. An anaconda sounds exciting, but is it really one though? What are your thoughts? A man while at the beach at an unknown location was live on social media when this happened. He saw this massive creature in the sea. Estimated to be between 20 to 25 feet in length, the creature was seen swimming toward the beach. The waves somehow appeared to act as a barrier, preventing it from getting too close to the shore. The situation drew the attention of the police, who arrived at the scene along with a gathering of curious onlookers. The sheer size of the creature has left many intrigued. Some propose that it could be a species of shark or whale, while others think it might just be another species that's less commonly seen near the shore. However, without additional details about the location and the more detailed analysis of the footage, it remains challenging to definitely identify the sea creature. There's bound to be someone here who knows what this is. If that's you, please do educate us in the comments section. We'll be reading. Do you believe in coincidence? Because the next footage is about to blow your mind.
Oh my god.
Do it.
Don't!
Prove it.
Don't work.
Prove it.
In the video, a man behind the camera tells a woman to do it. We don't know what he's referring to until she raises her hands in the air. At that exact moment, lightning strikes the spot where her fingers point in the sky. The man's reaction is one of pure astonishment as he captures the event with shaky hands. Even the woman appears to be in disbelief, looking at her hands and then back at the sky as if questioning her newfound powers. The timing is impeccable, making it hard to dismiss as mere coincidence. Was it just a coincidence, or did we just witness a real-life storm?
Prove it.
Don't work.
Prove it.
A tranquil hike through the woods took an ominous turn for an unsuspecting couple. At first, they dismissed the occasional crack of a twig or rustle of leaves as simply the sounds of nature. But a persistent, deliberate presence made the hairs on the back of their necks stand on end. Something, or someone, was out there, carefully tracking their movements through the dense foliage. They strained to catch a glimpse, but the thick trees and bush obscured their view. The couple could only make out occasional flashes of movement, too large and purposeful to be a small forest creature. A cold trickle of fear ran down their spines. Just an animal, or something much more mysterious, even sinister. Occasionally a pair of eyes pop up, and the man says, "I see you," which makes whatever it is retreat.
I see you. Those eyes are wide, too.
Their imaginations ran wild. Could this be the legendary Sasquatch pursuing them, or some other cryptid, an undiscovered species perhaps? The thought of being stalked by an unknown entity raises the anxiety to a fever pitch as they tried to discern what manner of being was trailing them. The couple quickened their pace, desperate to escape the trees and the unseen watcher within. The video was uploaded, so it's safe to say they escaped, but what could have been stalking them? I think they've got to be wolves, but what do you guys think? A woman discovers something on Instagram that will blow your mind and explain why there's a lot of conflict of interest on social media. Take a look.
This is the most insane example of how everyone is experiencing completely different social medias at the exact same time. Like, this video, my boyfriend said he'd be over by 3 after golfing, and like, it's just her every half an hour taking a video saying, oh, he's still not here, and it gets to like 5 or 6 p.m. and he's still not here, okay? I opened the comments of this video, and kind of as I expected, everyone was saying, oh, that's really rude, it's the disregard of her time, I don't like him, did he communicate with you? If not, then that's a red flag, okay? Fair enough, you know? I send this video to my boyfriend who was sat next to me, and then I said to my boyfriend, lol, look at the comments. Bear in mind, these comments were coming up at the top of the list, so as soon as you open the comments, these are the ones that came up for me. At the same time, on the same video, or you could get your own hobby instead of waiting around for him. Like, God forbid he has a good time, he meant before 3 a.m, he's ahead of schedule. No fucking wonder we're all so divided when you can look at the same comments on the same video and it'll change them based on who you are, and I presume based on like other activity in the app. Like, because people look at the fucking comments of a video to gain perspective and see how everyone feels about that video. Like, I do that, I think everyone does that. So if we're looking at it from two completely different angles. And the only thing that I can assume really that's that different about our interactions with Instagram is that he's a guy and I'm a girl. And so obviously these are all like on his side and all of mine were on her side.
How is that possible? The top comment she saw in the video from her account was different from the top comment her boyfriend was seeing on the same video but on his account. This practice means that users are continually fed content that reinforces their existing ideologies, creating echo chambers and limiting exposure to diverse perspectives. This disturbing realization highlights the manipulative potential of social media algorithms. How do you feel about this? Do you think social media companies exploit this to control and direct our thinking processes? Or are we just making a fuss over nothing? Please share your thoughts. This footage was shared from Turkey. After an earthquake, someone captured strange lights in the sky. Take a look.
Ne var rengi öyle? He? Niye kuşlar altın gibi parlıyor? Beyaz.
Many lights were hovering like a swarm of birds. The lights moved in an erratic pattern, unlike anything seen before. Some in the paranormal community suggest they could be drones. Others speculated it could be volcanic reaction. While one commenter mentioned they had seen it before but couldn't explain it either. Another commenter suggested that this could be the spirits of the dead floating up there. I guess it does look like it, but is it though? The light's mysterious origin and purpose continue to baffle viewers. Everyone's waiting for answers, but without some more information, it's going to be more of an intelligent guess than an answer. Before we move on to the next one, do you think this is a natural phenomenon or do you suspect something more supernatural? Please share your thoughts.
Ne var rengi öyle? He? Niye kuşlar altın gibi parlıyor? Beyaz.
A fan attended a concert of Till Lindemann, the lead singer of a popular band called Rammstein, back in 2017. Everything seemed like a typical performance until something unexpected happened. As he was singing on stage, his eyes suddenly appeared to switch to reptilian, or at least that's what the footage seemed to show. This video was posted online and many people immediately thought it was fake or edited, but others, intrigued by the possibility, went back to the original concert footage to watch it again, and there it was, right in front of them. His eyes, which looked completely normal, suddenly shifted. It's almost as if for a brief moment they turned reptilian before switching back again. Now, whether this was just a trick of the lights, a camera glitch, or something more mysterious, people are still debating. Take a look and decide for yourself. Did something supernatural happen here, or was it just an illusion? In this footage, you can see trees being felled by what appears to be some sort of advanced technology, often referred to as a laser cutter or direct energy weapon, DEW for short. Instead of traditional chainsaws or machinery, the trees are cut with extreme precision, almost as if they were sliced cleanly by a laser beam. The DEW technology, while typically associated with military or industrial uses, is rumored to be a futuristic tool capable of emitting concentrated energy to cut through solid materials like trees, steel, or even rocks. If this is indeed a laser cutter, it represents an astonishing leap in tech, allowing for cleaner, faster, and more efficient tree cutting. Encounters with wildlife, especially bears, can be unpredictable and potentially dangerous, and this footage highlights it better than most. Our hiker here was attacked by a bear cub. Fortunately for him, he knew what to do and screamed. He also had a stick, which he attempted to use in scaring the bear away, but this creature did not budge. The little guy rather pounced at the hiker and caught the stick between its jaws. It took the hiker a while to get the cub to leave him alone, but he eventually did. It's essential for individuals exploring areas inhabited by wildlife to be aware of the potential risks so they can take appropriate precautions. Maintaining a safe distance and avoiding confrontation is crucial when dealing with wild animals, especially mothers with cubs, as they can be protective and territorial. Let's just say this man is lucky Mama Bear was not around, because if she was, this may have been another kind of video, if you know what I mean. Our next mysterious footage was captured in Scotland, where the forest ground appears to be undulating, almost as if it were breathing. This has left viewers both fascinated and perplexed. The video was recorded after Storm Babette, which brought strong winds to the area and introduces a possible link between the weather conditions and a peculiar phenomenon observed in the forest. Look at how the dog was effortlessly lifted when it stood on the moving earth. This is so strange. Some speculate that the storm's impact on the soil and trees contributed to this unusual movement, creating a visual illusion reminiscent of breathing. Some even took a more fantastical approach, saying that the forest is a sleeping giant. Reminds me of the sleeping giant seen from Puss in Boots. In folklore and mythology, various cultures have ascribed spiritual or sentient qualities to nature. The concept of a sleeping giant, in this case, suggests that the forest possesses a dormant or slumbering essence, awakening in a manner reminiscent of breathing. But having seen it with your own eyes, what do you think this could be? These men were but working in the woods when one of them decided to film the area. What they captured has everyone talking. In the footage, a small miniature creature with pointy ears angled sideways can be seen darting into the trees. Its quick movements and small stature raise the question, was this some sort of goblin or gnome? The sighting has left people speculating, but no one seems to have an explanation for this strange little creature that seemed to vanish just as quickly as it appeared. This clip is one that's been featured before, but has all of a sudden resurfaced and started debates in the paranormal community. What do you think this could be? This is a Tesla robot, and in this clip, it's folding clothes, a glimpse into what the futuristic machines are capable of. They're designed to help out with household chores like cleaning, laundry, and maybe even cooking in the future. Pretty innovative, right? But here's the kicker. They're said to cost around $20,000. Now, I get it. Robots doing housework sounds like a dream come true, but would you get one for that price? I think that's where the debate comes in. For some, the convenience might outweigh the cost, especially if they have busy lifestyles or need extra assistance. Others might feel like it's just too expensive for something we can already do ourselves, and $20,000 can be spent on a lot of other things. What do you think? Would you invest in a robot like this to make life easier, or is it just not worth the price tag yet? And I don't like to be the one who's always thinking negatively, but, what if they get hacked or turn on humanity? How would you defend yourself?
No, there it goes. Finally, I knew I shouldn't go in. Everything was telling me not to go in, that I needed to be recording.
In Winston-Salem, a woman came out one evening for some fresh air when she noticed something strange going on with the clouds. Lights were blinking on and off behind the clouds. She said initially the clouds with the lights blinking were above her head. The lights, which were initially blue, changed color as they moved further ahead of her. The color changed to orange. As weird as this is, it was not the weirdest part. There was a long, lingering, heavy feeling that they just couldn't get rid of. This mysterious event leaves both the observer and curious onlookers grappling with various questions. What could be the source of these peculiar lights behind the clouds? Is it a natural phenomenon, an atmospheric anomaly, or perhaps something more enigmatic? These are questions we may never truly have official answers to, but in the meantime, feel free to share your thoughts. Just a quick reminder before the next clip comes, if you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed, could you do so right now? Thank you very much. There have been reports flooding in from all corners of Oklahoma about sightings of strange and mysterious luminous objects illuminating the night sky. The ambiguity surrounding these sightings fuels a range of theories. Some individuals posit that these luminous objects could be experimental aircraft or drones, possibly of military origin. Others entertain the notion of otherworldly visitors or advanced technological entities exploring the skies. Local communities and the broader public are left to ponder the significance of these sightings. Whether these phenomena are rooted in classified military activities, natural atmospheric occurrences, or something beyond our current understanding. I know you want my views on it, but my team and I are doing some digging around for evidence. We'll have a full video explaining these things coming up soon, and you wouldn't want to miss that, trust me. If you travel around, then sitting in cars with leaking roofs is nothing new. But what happens when you're on a plane and water starts dripping from the fuselage or ceiling? Jumping off is not an option, which is why no one will expect something like this. The individuals in this clip, however, seem unbothered. The individuals who recorded refuse to mention the airline in India whose plane this is. Some have expressed concern about the fact that none of the passengers are reacting. There are two theories. Either they're used to stuff like this and probably seem worse, or the clip is fake. You've seen the clip as well, so what do you think? In Egypt during Easter, scientists detected a fascinating phenomenon near the pyramids of Giza, a space bubble hovering above the ancient structures. These bubbles, known as equatorial plasma bubbles, or EPBs for short, are pockets of low-density plasma that occur in Earth's ionosphere, typically around the equator. EPBs are often invisible to the naked eye but can be detected with specialized equipment. They occur when disturbances in the Earth's magnetic field cause variations in plasma density, leading to these bubbles of less concentrated ionized gas. This phenomena can interfere with satellite signals and radio communications, making their detection critical for technological systems. What are your thoughts on these space bubbles? Could they hold any deeper mysteries, or are they just another natural phenomenon explained by science? Have you seen this? The world's first bioprocessor uses 16 human brain organoids for 1 million times less power consumption than a digital chip. What does this mean? Well, for starters, this bioprocessor is like a computer chip, but is made of human brain tissue made from a lab that had 16 brain organoids. These organoids are connected to communication channels known as electrodes, and through that, they process data. But unlike computer chips, this bioprocessor uses less power, in fact, 1 million times less. For now, they last for 100 days. If we know anything about scientists, it's that this wouldn't cut it. I know it's exciting, but it gives me Matrix vibes and has me a little worried and on edge. See what we're able to do with our current processors. Imagine what these could do once they are working optimally. As exciting as that can be, I have one fear. What if we lose control? What if these things evolve beyond us? What then happens to us? You know what? Oh, let's not go there. I wouldn't want to seem like the pessimistic one, but think about it. Did you know each human sperm cell packs about 37.5 megabyte of data? That's like a tiny biological USB stick. Considering the average ejaculation contains around 450 million sperm, that's a whopping 16 terabyte of data, enough to fill numerous hard drives. Each sperm carries half the genetic information needed to create a new human. When DNA sequences are digitalized, each sperm's DNA equates to 37.5 megabyte. Multiply that by 450 million and you get an impressive 16 terabyte of genetic information. This fact raises intriguing questions about the potential of biological data storage and the future of bioinformatics. Perhaps men ought to be conservative about their sperm and not waste it, if you know what I mean. What's going on in the waters of Columbus? The man behind the camera shows his two containers. One had a fish in it, and the other, initially containing a fish and a snail, now has something unsettling. Instead of the fish and snail, tiny creatures are swimming around, which the man claims he never put there. He describes them as extremely small fish-like organisms. According to him, he had changed the water in the second container with tap water. The next day, the fish was gone, the snail was just an empty shell, and these mysterious tiny creatures had appeared. He believes that these creatures were in the tap water and somehow ate his fish and snail. If this is happening in Columbus, it raises serious questions about the tap water. Is something lurking in the water supply, or could it be a bizarre and isolated incident? Well, many in the paranormal community are not amused. They point out these strange and tiny creatures the man is describing are shrimps. They also mention they probably hitched a ride from one of his purchases. Another mentions he's just lying for views. Another in Columbus, Ohio, called him out for lying as well. I can go on, but it's clear no one believes him. So what do you also think? This footage is something you'd expect to see in a sci-fi movie, but it's real. A driver was casually parked by the side of the road when he noticed something utterly bizarre. On a nearby structure, perched in plain sight, was an insect. But this wasn't your typical bug. This creature was huge, almost the size of a dog. Yes, you heard that right. A dog-sized insect. Now, insects by nature aren't supposed to grow to this size, so this is where things get interested. We've heard stories of mutated creatures, strange anomalies, and even undiscovered species lurking in isolated regions. Could this be one of them, or could it be something far more mysterious? Perhaps it's a creature that wandered into our dimension through some unseen gateway, an insect from another world or time. What do you think, though? Could this be some sort of undiscovered giant species, or could there be some more bizarre, even paranormal explanation for this massive insect sighting? Now, when it comes to the solar system or even the universe in general, it's a well-established fact that we have just one sun. However, during a mesmerizing sunset view, someone captured something utterly shocking. In the sky, alongside the familiar glow of our sun, there were two additional suns visible, one on the far left and the other on the far right. This bewildering sight left many scratching their heads and questioning the laws of nature. How could there be two suns? Some suggested it might be a glitch in the camera or the result of unusual atmospheric conditions. Others pondered more fantastical explanations, invoking the possibility of parallel dimensions or extraterrestrial phenomenon. But amidst the uncertainty, one thing remained clear. This was an extraordinary sight that defied conventional understanding. What do you think might explain the presence of these twin suns in the sky? Let us know in the comments section. A new Turkish surgery procedure is causing a lot of buzz online. A man who underwent the procedure appears to look like 2 or 3 decades younger. This transformation is so dramatic that some people believe it's not the same person. Others think it might be a father and son duo. The before and after photos are astounding, showing a significant reduction in wrinkles, age spots, and sagging skin. Would you be willing to try out a procedure to look decades younger? Also, what do you think? Same person, or is someone trying to pull a fast one on us? In this next footage, a group of men are seen holding a man down. The man appears to be struggling with them. It almost looks like he's floating in mid-air, but the men are holding him down. Immediate thoughts are towards the supernatural. Could this man be possessed or subject to some mysterious force? As our investigation lens delves deeper into the subject, a fascinating revelation emerges. It turns out that the initial perplexing scene is a result of clever video manipulation. The footage has been artfully reversed. The mysterious aura surrounding the situation dissipates as we uncover the meticulous editing that has taken place. I must say, they almost got me there. Whilst out with his kids, a man came across this: clouds on the ground. Now, I don't know how this is possible, but that's what we see. Strange, if you ask me. Naturally, when this popped up online, people were shocked, and that led to some rather interesting theories concerning the footage. Some thought it was part of a government spy aircraft cloud camouflage. Sounds crazy at first, but when you think about it, it's quite possible, wouldn't you agree? Some also proposed an alternative perspective, suggesting that it could be a byproduct of a toxic substance in the sky. This theory raises concerns about environmental and health implications if that's true, but there's no way of determining that now, is there? After all, some who saw it are dismissing the footage as a hoax, attributing the cloud-like formation to ordinary cotton. Yet upon closer scrutiny, the transparency of the anomaly challenges the notion that it could be a mere cotton formation. Could it be pure CGI, or is there something else at play here? I think I'll leave that up to you to decide.
A lifetime of eating raw fish left this poor gentleman with this level of parasites throughout his entire body. Folks, you're not going to get rid of stuff like this, so eat the right things.
What this man is holding is a scan of another man's body, and if you take a closer look, you'll notice something truly disturbing. These white lines scattered throughout the image. Believe it or not, these are worms. Yes, worms infesting his body after consuming raw fish over a prolonged period. The man had been a fan of eating raw fish, likely enjoying sushi or sashimi regularly, and over time this led to a severe parasitic infection. The worms managed to infiltrate his body, spreading internally to the point where they appeared all throughout his skin. It's a terrifying reminder of what can happen when parasites go unchecked. Even the doctor who reviewed the case expressed concern, saying that removing all the worms might be impossible due to the extent of the infestation. The worms had taken over much of the man's internal system that it was unclear how they could safely extract every last one. This type of parasitic infection, often caused by consuming improperly prepared raw seafood, highlights the risks that come with not cooking food thoroughly. So for all the sushi lovers out there, while sushi can be delicious and enjoyable, it's important to be extra cautious. Make sure you're getting your fish from reputable places that take great care in ensuring the food is parasite-free, because as this shocking case shows, the consequences can be life-altering and downright horrifying.
A lifetime of eating raw fish left this poor gentleman with this level of parasites throughout his entire body. Folks, you're not going to get rid of stuff like this, so eat the right things.
Someone stumbled upon this fascinating tree deep in the forest, and as you can see, there's clear, fresh water gushing out from its trunk. This sight is undeniably odd, especially considering the surrounding environment looks dry and there hasn't been any rain for quite some time. So what could this possibly be that's going on here? Well, it turns out this isn't just any ordinary tree. It's a Terminalia tomentosa, known for its unique ability to store water in its trunk. This tree can release water even during dry spells, acting as a natural reservoir. It's quite amazing how nature can create such a system, with trees like these helping maintain life even in the driest conditions. But imagine stumbling upon something like this without knowing the science behind it. It would feel like the tree itself was alive, offering a mysterious gift from within. Wouldn't that be an eerie yet magical moment in the middle of a forest?
In this riveting footage, a group on a boat expedition through the forest stumble upon a celestial enigma. However, hovering in the skies was a dark ethereal mass reminiscent of smoke surrounded by a flurry of birds. The air was thick with intrigue, and the observers must have felt a shiver of awe and wonder. Could this mysterious floating entity be a natural phenomenon, a play of light and shadow, or does it harbor a more supernatural essence? Some might speculate on atmospheric conditions, while others might entertain the possibility of an otherworldly presence. What are your thoughts on this puzzling encounter? Smoke signals from the cosmos, or nature's dance of light and shade? We've got this clip that shows two moons in the sky. Initially, it looked like just a moon and a star, but as the person zoomed in, you noticed that the other smaller one was a crescent moon, but not as bright as the bigger one. This celestial mystery prompts a cascade of speculations and discussions amongst viewers, each grappling with the enigmatic nature of the phenomenon. The possibilities are as diverse as the interpretations, from atmospheric anomalies to potential celestial alignments. As we contemplate the celestial tapestry above, it becomes evident that the universe is an endless source of fascination and intrigue, always ready to challenge our understanding of the cosmos.
Are you giving Daddy his tools?
For this next clip, well, I have no words, just take a look. Do you think the little girl would have really stabbed her dad? Could it be a case of not knowing what she was doing, or was she briefly possessed by something or someone? Share your thoughts.
Are you giving Daddy his tools?
The economy we once knew has drastically changed, and this video breaks it down in a way that really hits home. Just look at how this man explains it.
Movie Home Alone in 1990, Kevin McAllister gets a bunch of groceries that cost $19. A woman in Chicago bought the same things in 2023 and it went up to $72. But you know what people aren't talking about? The income. In 1990, Kevin spent $19 and the median household income was around $40,000. Fast forward to 2022, the groceries basically doubled and so did the income. So that makes sense. But then if you hop just 12 more months, and let's be generous because this is Chicago, this is one grocery store, that doesn't represent all of America. Let's bring this down to even $62 to be a little fair here. That's still a 1.4 times increase on the groceries. So if income would have kept up with these groceries, the average American family should be bringing in $113,000 a year, not 81. And how funny is this? Look at the housing prices. The same thing. There's a pattern. In 1990, the average home was $78,000, median household income $40,000, and you only needed $21,000 to qualify for this house in the 90s. Fast forward to today, the average home sits at $412,000 in this country. The median household income is $81,000. And guess what you need to earn to qualify for this house? $115,000. It's the exact same thing as the groceries because everything in this country in the past 3 years has literally gone up anywhere from 20 to 60% except the income.
It's insane when you think about it. Groceries, housing, and just about everything we buy has skyrocketed in price due to inflation. Yet wages haven't kept up. The cost of living has far outpaced our income, and people are feeling the squeeze like never before. So how are we supposed to survive in this kind of economy, or rather, how do you survive? Any tips you can share?
And guess what you need to earn to qualify for this house? $115,000. It's the exact same thing as the groceries, because everything in this country in the past 3 years has literally gone up anywhere from 20 to 60% except the income.
Someone allegedly came across this unsettling sight deep in the woods, a massive, otherworldly creature moving on all fours. This entity, with its bark-like texture and towering frame, seemed like it had sprung from a dark fairy tale. I've watched the clip over and over, and that's the best description I could come up with. Is it real, though? My video editor doesn't think so. He believes that whatever that is was created digitally on the PC. He mentions a bunch of things like the frame rate of the object not matching the rest of the clip, as well as color grading and other factors. I don't fully understand it, but I trust Ike, and before you come asking, Ike is the name of the video editor. Why would someone try to mislead us? Hard to tell, but what do you guys think? Is my video editor right, or has any of you encountered a creature that looks like this? Man had been hearing strange noises coming from one of the rooms in his house. He searched everywhere but couldn't find the source of the noise until he stumbled upon a strange structure in one of the rooms. Inside it, a pair of eyes stared back at him. It looked like an owl, but the situation was bizarre. The structure was a hollow pole made of foil, which looked like a good place for a nest. But how did it manage to get inside a house and into that? No one can tell, but I know we will be glad to finally find out. I know I mentioned owl, but what do you think this is? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Humans are limited in their sensory perception, which can be both humbling and alarming to consider. Our hearing range is between 20 Hz to 20 kHz, and our visual spectrum, spanning wavelengths of approximately 430 to 770 terahertz, only covers small fractions of the broader electromagnetic and auditory spectrum. This limitation means we are effectively blind and deaf to a huge array of phenomena occurring at higher frequencies or beyond our range of vision. For instance, ultraviolet and infrared light, which other creatures like bees and snakes can detect, remain hidden from human sight. Similarly, ultrasonic and infrasonic sounds are imperceptible to our ears, but are crucial for communication amongst certain animals such as bats and elephants. These sensory gaps raise fascinating and unsettling questions. Could there be entities, energies, or even worlds that exist just beyond our perception? Are aliens a part of the world we are unable to see? Stepping away from the scientific debates, let's look at something right up our alley: ghosts. The image on your screen was captured by a group of friends at Black Star Canyon in Orange County. It was shared by user DJS Skeptics seeking answers. If you pay attention to the image, especially to the left side, you should see what looks like a faint image of a boy in the shadows. The group was supposed to be alone when they took the picture, so seeing another boy in the background really spooked them, and they uploaded it to a paranormal group seeking answers. They did get some answers, but it was not necessarily what they were expecting. The image was not pareidolia or a trick of the light. No, it turns out that some school children died in a car crash not far from where they took the picture. Ever since the incident, people have always reported seeing images of little children in the area.
This is one of the few times they have actually been captured on camera. At least that's what we're told, though some remain skeptical. There's no logical or paranormal explanation. What do you think? Do you like being watched when you're out in town? No? What about when you're in your home? Would you appreciate someone peeping into your home? If the answer is no, then you might find this clip on your screen a bit worrying. Ashley noticed that her neighbor had been watching her any time she left or entered her home. There was always the shadowy being staring in her direction from the window, and it made her uncomfortable. She's tried different things to deter them and has gone as far as showing her headlights directly at the neighbor's window, but he just stands there and stares. She shared the story, hoping to get insights on what she could do, and many who heard her plight told her that the neighbor might just be nosy, curious, or lonely. There was still a small sect who stated he might be dangerous. One even said she had gone through such an ordeal that the individual eventually broke in. If you were Ashley, what would you do?
That was Satanism. It's working on really I made a pact. The movie came out so well.
It's unsettling how desensitized we've become to the occult, Satanism, and dark pacts, especially in pop culture and Hollywood. What once would have shocked people is now brushed off as edgy humor or just another conspiracy theory. But let's talk about this specific moment. Brad Pitt allegedly spoke openly about making a pact with the devil and how it helped his career. The most chilling part isn't even what he says, it's how he says it with no grin or sarcasm, just a dead serious expression as the audience laughs around him. This moment is eerie because it plays directly into the long-standing rumors about Hollywood being more than just entertainment. The symbolism, the recurring occult imagery, and the strange stories that circle certain celebrities. Now, was Brad joking? Maybe, but if he wasn't, would anyone take him seriously? Sometimes the truth is delivered in laughter, so we don't notice we've just been told something deeply disturbing. So do I believe him? No, I believe he meant what he said. Whether or not you believe what he said is up to you to decide.
That was Satanism. It's working on really I made a pact. The movie came out so well. That was Satanism. It's working on really
But with that, we end today's episode, and thank you for staying with us. Before you go, are there clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us, and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have.